We are so pleased to announce our new product, and we are anxious to show you all its new features today. So keep watching.
Two years ago, I had to get my ear operated on because of tinnitus. As I was laying on a cold operating table, completely paralyzed with fear, that dreaded ringing, which has been tormenting me for years, grew louder and louder. I wanted to scream, "Doctor, doctor, for the love of God, please don't cut my ear off." But no words were coming out of my mouth. With the corner of my eye, I saw the sharp scalpel getting closer and closer to my ear. I said, "God help me." And then everything turned pitch black. When I finally came to my senses, the surgeon told me that he had to slice the back of my ear and lay it wide open in order to fix what they thought was wrong with my horrible ear ringing. Well, we did open up your ear canal a bit, but the bones were intact, the doctor said. Hopefully, it still helps the severe tinnitus, but we can't be sure. Even so, days after the operation, my ears were still ringing louder than ever. I was completely devastated, and I felt like I would be stuck with tinnitus forever. What happened to me sooner or later can happen to anyone. But even though that was the most terrifying experience from my entire life, it was that precise, nightmarish moment that sent me on a mind-bending journey, which eventually led me to the discovery of a completely natural and inexpensive method that makes it possible for you to finally clear your ringing and regain hearing once again. Hi, I'm Gerard Watson, and today I want to literally bring truth to your ears. That's because in just a few moments, I'll show you where tinnitus really comes from and how a simple technique recently discovered by scientists at leading medical universities could make it possible for you to hit the mute button on that aggravating ringing on your ears. So scientists say that once you listen to a short series of sound therapies and add a group of certain natural ingredients in your diet, you could retrain your brain to cut off the ringing, roaring, and whooshing in your ears. That, no matter how much earwax you dig out, how many antibiotics your doctor gives you, or how religiously you attempt to quiet the noise banging around in your brain, you'll never get rid of the debilitating effects of tinnitus until it's completely snuffed out. And that's really good news, because inside this short presentation, you'll discover a totally natural technique that could pull the plug on tinnitus even while you're sleeping. Developed by a team of ear specialists and sound technologists, experts, this technique doesn't require hearing aids, no chemical-laden medications, chronic ear flushing, or surgery. In fact, once you see exactly what this sound therapy technique does, how it turns your world so quiet and clear again, you'll be amazed at how simple and inexpensive it is. No more stuffing your head in the pillow at night to escape the sounds roaring in your ears, or dosing up on nighttime sleep meds just to get a short reprieve. Forget the headaches, dizziness, and pure frustration at being trapped in your own head too. It sounds incredible, I know, but as you soon see with this brief presentation, just by following a couple of easy techniques that I'm about to show you, you could enjoy the moments of silence you long for, bringing your intense relief and ability to concentrate for once without having ear-piercing sounds keeping you distracted, and excelling at work without having to stop and say, "What? What?" all the time. You could be finally able to relax and enjoy your family and your friends, even in noisiest of environments. Best of all, this strategic and scientific technique is fit for anyone, no matter how bad they suffer from tinnitus or how old they are. Because just by following the simple sound therapy technique I'm about to show you, which unlike everything else out there, is even more powerful, as it is coupled with a miraculous natural solution specifically designed to calm down your nervous system, not by a money-hungry big pharma company, but by a brave group of people who have been struggling themselves with tinnitus for years. Your brain could be retrained to suffocate tinnitus on a biological level, ridding your body of the anxiety resulting from a never-ending noise explosion inside your head, dramatically helping additional hearing problems associated with tinnitus, cutting out the possibility of major ear surgery, and feeling like a normal person once again. Now, if you've suffered from tinnitus for any length of time, I'm sure you're curious to find out this simple technique and take control of what you hear and when you hear it. So, let's not waste any time. I want you to know who I am. Why? I know a secret trick, that ear, and how you can put the secret to work for you in order to finally achieve the blessed peace of silence inside your head, even if you can't remember how good it actually feels. So as you know, my name is Gerard Watson. I'm 55 years old, live near Denver, Colorado, and 2 years ago, doctors cut my ear off my head to fix tinnitus. The chief surgeon said the horrible hissing sounds in my ears was the result of broken bones. But after he cut into my head, he discovered nothing at all was physically wrong with my ears. And I woke up feeling like he drilled through my skull with an ice pick. My ear was fire hot, swollen off my head, stitched back on like Frankenstein. All for nothing. The ringing in my ears not only remained there, it got way more wicked after that. And even worse, he accidentally cut a facial nerve, so my tongue lost all taste and felt like someone burned it with acid. As you could imagine, this experience was horribly eye-opening, not to mention very expensive. And I'll tell you more about it in just a couple of seconds. But before I do, it's best if you know how I got to this point of having my head cut open to begin with. Ever since I was a kid, I had bad ear infections that kept my doctors dosing me with antibiotics. I had tubes in both my ears, poor hearing, learning to read lips pretty early on. I wasn't deaf by any means, but ear problems became the norm in my life from a young age, even though nobody else in my family suffered from it. So, when my ears started ringing one day out of the blue, I wasn't too alarmed. I mean, the older you get, the worse your hearing becomes, right? The ringing, whooshing in my head just became something I kind of accepted. Up until 2 years ago, when a drill siren struck through my skull. I was in a meeting with fellow music executives, and all of a sudden, it was like someone banged both sides of my head like a set of drums. All I could hear was a high-pitched tone that drowned everything else out, like that loud alarm tone on the emergency broadcast system when it takes over your TV. You know what I mean? I covered my ears, looked around at everyone else, but nobody was experiencing this weird pain. They were all staring at me like I was crazy. I left work early, hoping it was just a fluke and it would go away on its own, but it didn't. The dinging stayed with me even into the night, where it proceeded to keep me from sleeping a wink. The next day, it was still there, only now there was a sensation of blood pumping through my ears also. Concerned, I called around and asked a few colleagues for the best ear specialist out there. After all, I was in the music industry, which is notorious for causing hearing loss. Luckily, I was able to get an appointment right away, and the doctor, who was a top-notch surgeon who came extremely highly recommended to me, immediately sent me to get an MRI scan on my head. A few days later, as he reviewed the results with me, the doctor said he still wasn't sure what was wrong with me. You do have unusually small ear canals, which accounts for your infections growing up, said the doctor. And I do see a blockage in your right ear, which could be a broken bone, and that might make the tinnitus worse. Okay, I said, so what now? My doctor said surgery was probably the safest bet and had my operation scheduled for the next week. It all happened so fast, and at the time I was glad I'd be able to have the procedure done so quickly. Looking back, however, I wish I'd have known then what I know now. The surgeon had to slice the back of my ear, lay it wide open in order to fix what they thought was wrong. Worse still was the news that my doctor gave me when I finally got done throwing up from the anesthesia. Well, we did open up your ear canal a bit, but the bones were intact, he said. Hopefully it still helps the severe tinnitus, but we can't be sure. What do I do with that information? My ears were still ringing. A hot pulse surged through my eardrums. I felt utterly deflated. Oh, and by the way, one more thing, he said. We cut through a taste nerve in your jaw. Your mouth might tingle or burn for a little while and have a funny metal taste, but it will go away. Happens quite often. That didn't make me feel well. So that was why my mouth felt halfway numb, halfway on fire, and I thought it was the vomiting. If this all sounds horribly disgusting, that's because it was. I lived through it. Now, I still have tinnitus and a severed taste nerve to go along with it. And I felt like I would be stuck with it forever. I was distracted all day at work, trying to concentrate, but getting thrown off by the constant nagging in my eardrums. They finally told me, take a leave of absence, because I couldn't hear over the swooshing sound in my head, making me useless in the music industry. I was distraught. Not only was I anxiety-ridden and feeling trapped inside my jail of a head, but I was getting majorly depressed too, which meant that no matter how I did it, I needed to escape this life sentence of having the nails dragged down the proverbial chalkboard in my head, disturbing every part and aspect of my life. And so, from that moment on, every single moment was spent researching medical publications, studies, scientific journals, and periodicals. Even alternative methods of treating tinnitus is what I explored. There are a lot of medical experts saying tinnitus is almost impossible to treat with any method because there isn't one root cause for it. They suspect loud noises or injuries to the ears could lead to tinnitus, yet some people suffer from it without ever being exposed to damage. Which makes sense because even though my doctors told me I got it after years of listening to music way too loudly, I still knew a lot of people who suffered from tinnitus their whole lives without ever being exposed to anything harmful to their hearing like I was. But even though they may not know exactly what makes people get tinnitus, scientists do know what it does inside your head. Tinnitus roots itself deep into the brain and causes a complex interplay of brain signals to go wrong. It begins with damage to tiny vibrating receptors called hear cells in the inner ear. But regardless of why you get tinnitus or what it does inside your brain, people are still desperate for any possible remedy that gets rid of it. Like using hearing aids to mask the sounds inside your head. Expensive and annoying to wear in your ears. Antidepressant medication and sleep drugs to calm the panic attacks and anxiety kicked up by the tinnitus, which don't get to the root of the problem, just zone you out. Fake chemical remedies, acupunctures, medications are all used, fine for overall calming effect, but they cost a lot of money and are not that effective. Trust me, I've tried them all. And then there's surgery, which I personally knew doesn't work, let alone the physical and financial burden and pain that goes along with it. As you can tell, the research was unnerving, and I can't tell you how many times I almost gave up. Well, there must be a higher power out there, because barely a week later, I finally found that one thing that changed everything, that would end up giving me peace of mind back and some solitude. I'd researched the internet, read piles of books at the medical library, and made a ton of inquiries with doctors and a boatload of specialists. When I came across two obscure studies that had me doing mental backflips. Both of them came from an expensive site that published medical journals for sound therapists and research scientists. But the price meant nothing if I could find the vital information I was after. The first study came from the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis, a highly appraised school, and showed tinnitus patients participating in computer-based training reported incredible improvements. Specifically, the study groups listened to a series of sound recordings focused on improving the processing of sound, speech, and memory. To me, it sounded too good to be true, and it really got my attention. Help your tinnitus by doing the one thing you never thought you'd normally do ever again: listening! And the second study came from the University of San Francisco, where scientists had attempted to use sound therapy to fix tinnitus. From what I read in my research, the University of San Francisco scientists were using a customized acoustic stimulus delivery system called a neuromonics device, and it was introduced as a means of promoting neural flexibility within the hearing system in the hopes of abolishing tinnitus-related ailments. In plain English, what all this means is that the researchers were playing a pattern of audio stimuli, sounds that had been scientifically designed to retrain your brain to get it working properly. Well, after reading about these successes with sound therapy techniques, I was completely intrigued. I mean, this was my background. I spent my life burning new sounds into CDs. Perhaps I could do the same thing inside the human brain? I began making calls to the smartest sound technologists in the industry. Maybe someone else knew about this too. Why not? Well, not long after I left a message for every single composer, sound technician, music executive, and studio producer, I knew I had my breakthrough. One of the major symphony composers of all time returned my call. Imagine my excitement. He told me he'd suffered from hearing losses and tinnitus for years, but that he'd overcome all of it by simply listening to a certain mix of altered music and audio tones. The symphony composer said he knew all about neuromonics, which required a special listening device and cost a mind-blowing $5,000 for treatment. But it's unnecessary, because the state-of-the-art equipment at the studio that I work in creates the same sound at a fraction of the cost. This guy was the best in the business, who'd suffered from a case of tinnitus almost as bad as mine before using his own version of neuromonics. So this all made sense to me, because top composers like him are doctors of sound. They're mathematical geniuses and brilliant at knowing exactly how music and tone works inside the human brain. So I was definitely sold, and even better, he was willing to reproduce copies of his recordings for me. Now a real solution was within reach, and it could help so many other people out there suffering from the mildest forms of tinnitus to the most severe case. So you had both ranges. You can't imagine how relieved I was and how anxious to get it working. This was what I'd been searching for. And when a huge box of hard drives arrived, filled with the highest quality sound therapy recordings, I stayed up all night, excited, sorting through all of them. Fortuitously, in the end, I was able to combine the two most effective ways that can make your brain cut off tinnitus and retrain itself naturally. First, a version of neuromonics that used music with soundtracks adjusted to scientific algorithms that could provide a relief from tinnitus. There was a neural stimulus added to these recordings to further aid the relaxation response, a portion of which is purely used while you sleep. Second, I used the sound therapy recordings based on cognitive behavioral instructions. Simply put, these are brief listening exercises focused on auditory speed, sound, and memory designed to improve your brain functioning. Once I had the two-step sound therapy techniques stored out, I grabbed my headphones to be sure all of the recordings played back perfectly. If this helped tinnitus sufferers, it would be a miracle, especially because it was so simple. Something you only needed to listen to twice a week for 15 to 30 minutes. Something anyone could do, regardless of their severity of suffering. And something that wouldn't require any costly doctor appointments or dangerous prescriptions. I put the final touches on the sound techniques and dedicated the next 30 days to testing the whole thing out myself. First, I gathered a list of 20 people I knew who suffer from various levels of tinnitus, myself included, right? And asked them to test out the sound therapy program. Every single person immediately accepted, especially because we'd recorded the techniques in such a way that no one needed to leave their house or even buy special headphones to listen. They each received a weekly report form to follow their progress and record listening times. I prepared to wait weeks for the initial reports to come back to me. But what happened next was amazing. Even after 1 or 2 hearing sessions, I was getting calls from everyone in the study claiming their tinnitus was way less severe. They couldn't believe it. And so I encouraged them to stick with the listening sessions and continue charting their progress. So, being one of the people who suffered the worst from tinnitus, I had doubled up on my listening to heighten the experiment, which still only put me at about 10 minutes per day. And so, I was even more shocked at how quickly my ears started to clearing up. Soon enough, for at least 2, maybe 3 days in a row, the horrible ringing was almost unnoticeable and my depression was quickly lifting. My headache went away and I was sleeping through the night without any problems. And by week 4, most of my tinnitus symptoms had disappeared. On a scale of 1 to 10, my symptoms dilated down to a 3. I was not 100% treated, but it was way better than anything else I had tried before. But it wasn't just me. When I went to collect the reports from the other subjects in my initial study, the results I saw were astounding, with more than half of the subjects reporting their tinnitus symptoms reduced by a mind-blowing 60%. They also mentioned a significant improvement in their hearing as well, which was an added bonus I hadn't foreseen. This is the best news ever! I used my sound technology background and trusted professionals in the music field to find a solution. Not a perfect one, but something that I knew I can make even better so that everyone would finally be 100% tinnitus free. So I returned to work with more mental clarity and focus than ever. You see, even though I knew for a fact that listening to the special recordings will definitely help silence the dreadful ringing in the ears, just the sound therapy wouldn't be enough. The sound therapy indeed retrains the brain, but the brain still needs the proper nutrients to heal and recover. What I'm trying to say here is, if you had tinnitus for more than 6 months to a year, there was still a lot of brain and hair cells damage that was left untreated, as you would imagine. If I were to create 100% working tinnitus treatment, I definitely could not neglect undoing the brain damage. Don't you agree? Otherwise, just using the sound therapy would be like a band-aid, fixing the problem only in the short term and not actually addressing the root cause of the problem. So my next questions were, how could I undo all the brain damage caused by tinnitus? And what was the most effective way to calm down the nervous system and bulletproof anyone against any future tinnitus comebacks? So here's what I did. I created an online tinnitus sufferers group, which grew to at least a couple of thousand people in just a matter of weeks. It was like a little family where everyone was encouraged to share their experiences and what natural solutions seemed to work best in the long fight against tinnitus. You see, I thought if we combined all of our powers, we will definitely find a working treatment for this. Something we would all know that would work. Something tried and tested by us, the tinnitus sufferers, not by a faceless, money-grubbing pharmaceutical company. And I must admit, I'm not a big believer in God, but there is a higher power out there, because barely 3 weeks later, I finally found the one thing that changed everything. As one of the German hearing specialists from our online group pointed me to a recent little-known study from the German Research Foundation. You see, according to this study, there was a neuron-soothing natural component that quiets the roaring brain cells in your head called diazoxide, which can be naturally extracted from yam or fenugreek, among other plants. Well, I must admit, I've never heard of diazoxide before, but when I began to further investigate this, I found out that this substance was also being used with extraordinary success in Japan as well. You see, the Japanese researchers took 28 otherwise healthy tinnitus volunteers from the Toyama prefecture in Japan, and they randomly assigned who will receive either a yam extract or a placebo. After 12 weeks on a diazoxide treatment, the volunteers were given 12 individual standard cognitive subtests. The results awed the researchers. So evidently, the diazoxide-rich yam extract used significantly improved their brain performance while shifting the attention of the overactive brain cells to other areas of the brain: memory, cognition, hearing, attention, relaxation. Everything skyrocketed while the sound that tormented their ears was basically shut off. This was absolutely incredible. Moreover, after analyzing all the responses pouring in from the thousands of tinnitus sufferers in the online group from across the world, a number of herbs, plants, and minerals stood up, which everybody claimed worked wonders when things got really bad with their tinnitus. I knew then for a fact that compiling the right mix of all these natural ingredients would be the ultimate weapon against tinnitus. After all, they were proven to work not just by one person, but by thousands of folks of all ages from across the world. I'm sure that you're curious to find out what this natural anti-tinnitus mix is and why does it work incredibly well. So please, pay careful attention now, because the following information comes from our private medical research, to which the general public has no access to. Here's a short step-by-step explanation of each one of the anti-tinnitus brain-repairing ingredients used and how they work. After intense lab testing, they have proven to be 100% effective, only in this formula specifically calculated and adjusted to give the best possible results against tinnitus and brain disorders. Step 1, your hearing begins to clear as the brain networks in your inner ear hair cells are getting repaired, cooling down the nervous system. So your tinnitus is driving you crazy and you can't stand it for another moment. Both the Germans and the Japanese scientists have chosen yam and fenugreek as the first aid duo that can lower the sound from the very first days thanks to their high levels of dioxygenine. This happens because this emergency team quickly repairs the buzzing brain networks. Also, the yam cools down the entire nervous system, while the fenugreek prevents the panic attacks. So you see, there are apparently 600 species of yams, but during our research, we found that Mexican wild yam has the most effective type of dioxygenine. Step 2. You regain your quiet mind while your brain networks are strengthening and becoming indestructible. Dong Quai, a super herb not many know about, may take a little longer to kick in, but it's the one ingredient that definitely puts a run to tinnitus while helping your brain networks to become stronger than steel. Not only that, but as shown during multiple lab tests, Dong Quai also acts like a merciless double guardian, a guardian of the brain, protecting it against potentially fatal problems, and a guardian of the ears, protecting them against infections. Saw palmetto, on the other hand, balances your hormone levels, thus preventing irreversible cell damage while also decreasing brain and inner ear inflammation. Step 3. You feel your memory is stronger than ever while your damaged brain cells are quickly being repaired. L-tyrosine, an essential amino acid found in certain types of cheese, is vital for your brain as it produces important brain chemicals that help nerve cells communicate better and may even regulate mood. Now, because your brain networks were broken by tinnitus, your brain cells didn't connect properly, which results in multiple damages, dramatically increasing a risk in the loss of memory. But the right dose of high-quality L-tyrosine does the impossible by repairing years of brain deterioration. As researchers discovered, after just a short 10-day L-tyrosine treatment, patients with severe cases of memory loss began regaining their memories and showed significant improvements in their thinking and behavior. So in addition, by adding fennel, which is packed with important nutrients such as vitamin C, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, all powers up your memory and fights off dementia. This is also the phase when you say bye-bye to fatigue, bye-bye to sleepless nights, bye-bye to dizziness, and bye-bye to brain fog. So moving right along to step 4, you feel your brain is supercharged while cell regeneration starts. This is when your mind begins to get superpowers. Motherwort, black cohosh, and oakgrass are like steroids for the brain. As you age, your brain gets smaller, but not with these 3 ingredients. As they grow your brain, fire up connections, and help cell rejuvenation, the tinnitus brain can become more than 10 years younger, and you think faster, better, and clearer. Step 5, not worrying about tinnitus and brain disorders anymore because your brain is being trained for perfect health. Finally, this one-of-a-kind formula protects the brain against tinnitus, memory loss, and other debilitating conditions by combining the high-quality Pacific kelp, blessed thistle, and hops extract. While the Pacific kelp and blessed thistle are full of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory, thus cleaning your brains of the toxins, the hops extracts helps to multiply the neural connections, improving your brain functions and mood, relieving stress, anxiety, and depression. I'm sure you've heard of the old age rule where your mind and your memory starts to decline. This will be so far from you from this point forward. There, you have it. The ultimate tinnitus terminator natural mix. All we had to do now was make it available for everybody. We had dozens of doctors to provide the medical knowledge and a state-of-the-art lab all to ourselves. The most difficult part was to gather all the ingredients. You see, the market is full of counterfeits, cheap knockoffs of so-called natural homeopathic ingredients. We know this because after we carefully tested 97% of the available natural Mexican wild yam extracts, blessed thistle, and black cahash leaves, we found out they were bogus and derived from chemicals and not from natural sources. So, we searched the whole world through our scientific connections and contacted only the certified producers and verified suppliers, making sure that for our recipe we used only the top quality ingredients with 100% healing properties. It was very difficult and exhausting. We secretly worked night after night, testing until the dawn, making sure that we got the right quantities, the most effective combination of ingredients. And there were times when I was so tired that I even threw up, but in the end, there it was. My hands were shaking as I was finally holding the pills that would undo all of the tinnitus brain damage and bring my life and dignity back. If this tiny natural pill combined with the sound therapy was the effective treatment to tinnitus, it would be a miracle, especially because it was so simple. Anyone could take it, regardless of their severity of suffering. It didn't require any costly doctor appointments or trying any other therapies. It protected you from the most frightening brain disorders like amnesia or memory loss. Of course, I was the very first one who tried it. After the first pill, I didn't feel a thing. Well, maybe hope, which was still something I thought that I'd lost forever. But soon after, everything completely changed. I was even more shocked at how quickly my head and my ears started to clearing up. Not only that, but my brain fog went away, and I was sleeping through the night without any problems. So even though my tinnitus was gone, thanks to the sound therapy, I kept taking the pills just to see what would happen. And sooner than I thought, the results began to appear. It was like I had a brand new brain. My mind was sharp as a tack. I could focus easily. My memory was crystal clear. Also, my old migraines had disappeared completely. And it wasn't just me. When I went to collect the reports from the other subjects in my initial study, the results I saw were astounding. Not a single person reported getting the high-pitched or low-pitched ringing in their ears anymore, or hearing their heart beat all day. And they also reported a huge reduction in hearing loss too, which was an added bonus I hadn't even foreseen. Judging by my own miraculous results, I had anticipated most of these successes. But when I heard that one of the participants in our study had his early onset memory loss diagnosis treated, I knew I had a mission. I couldn't keep this life-saving treatment all to myself. So we decided to combine the sound therapy program together with the brain recovery solution and make it available for everybody who's tormented by tinnitus. This is how the Neuro Calm protocol was born. It's simply a revolutionary two-step program to terminate tinnitus once and for all. First, the sound therapy technique inside this program will unplug your brain from its internal loudspeakers just by simply listening and with no effort on your part. So I gathered the piles of research and recordings we'd worked on and began laying out the technique in a simple and easy format for anyone who might want to use them. Then I created an initial evaluation questionnaire for tinnitus to gauge severity for individual recommendations on which sound recordings work best. I categorized all of the sound therapy sessions based on what part of the brain they worked on and gave technical breakdowns for how the sounds were altered or enhanced for maximum potency. I formatted the listening sessions charts, times, detailing the 30-day program tested on the study group, including the weekly report forms for tracking your success. And lastly, I outlined a general FAQ list for tinnitus and how it disrupts the ear canals, as well as known causes for the disease, suspected culprits, plus a general how-to section to help you protect your hearing. The second part of the protocol is based on a Neuro Calm Pro supplement, which is absolutely crucial and will repair your brain networks damaged by tinnitus and calm down your nervous system. The unique mix of the natural ingredients can, without a doubt, be called the ultimate weapon against tinnitus. After all the ingredients inside were proven to work not just by one person, but by thousands of tinnitus sufferers of all ages from all across the world. Moreover, it was fully backed by science as well, as both German and Japanese researchers showed without a doubt that diazoxide can effectively shut off ear ringing and improve brain performance, memory, attention, and even hearing. Now that you know the entire story, you're probably asking two questions. How can I get my hands on this amazing program? How should I use this protocol to get the fastest results and get my silence back? Well, to answer question one is a little bit tricky. Even though getting the sound therapy program is pretty easy, actually, you can even start using it within the next 5 minutes. When it comes to the wonder supplements, Neuro Calm Pro, things change a bit. You see, the truth is that getting the right ingredients to make this powerful anti-tinnitus pill is difficult. As I said, 97% of the natural ingredients on the market are either fake or filled with pesticides. Also, the people who have already tested our product and regained their long lost silence keep asking us for more bottles for themselves, for their families and friends, or just to stock up in case we won't be able to provide any more, and to make sure that they will have the power to fight tinnitus for the rest of their lives. Plus, there are folks who don't have tinnitus, but just take the supplement to rejuvenate their brain, emptying our stock in just a matter of days. Moreover, Neuro Calm Pro is carefully produced only in small batches that take up to 3 months to deliver. This process is essential to assure that the quality of the product is 100% effective. And don't forget about Big Brother Pharma, who are already hunting us like mad for ruining their profits that come from innocent people who are desperate to get a minute of relief. But since you've stuck with me until the very end of my story, the next few minutes you'll find out how to get your hands on a brand new bottle of supplements as part of our awareness campaign. Now, as for how you should use this protocol to get the fastest results and get my silence back, the answer is easy. All you have to do is take 2 pills on a daily basis for at least 30 days and listen to the sound therapy recording twice a week for 15 minutes each time. It cannot be any simpler. All the strategic tools and knowledge you'll ever need can be found within the program. You'll see the techniques that could trick your brain into reprogramming itself and eliminating that dreaded ringing in your ears. Simply follow the instructions inside the program, showing you how to use the recordings to cut out the internal invasion of sound, quiet your mind, promote relaxation, and renew your outlook on life. There's no doubt that if you follow the Neuro Calm protocol, your mind will be quiet in just a couple of weeks. And then it's up to you on how far you want to go. Maybe you want to significantly decrease your risk of memory disorders and feel how your brain is being supercharged and regenerated, in which case it could take at least 75 days to treat the deterioration caused by damaged brain networks, which means 3 bottles of Neuro Calm Pro, or, and this is a popular choice among the people who contact us, you want the best chances against memory loss or other brain disorders while treating tinnitus, in which case 6 months and 6 bottles of Neuro Calm Pro are all you need. We cannot estimate exactly how damaged your brain networks are at this point. This depends solely on how many factors, such as how old your tinnitus is, your medical history, your overall state of health, and lifestyle choices, etc. So, as a rule of thumb, after seeing the positive results of more than 47,000 people suffering from chronic tinnitus, we recommend to take the very least 3 bottles, 6 bottles or more to be completely safe for a period of 90 days. This should be enough to completely regenerate your brain, supercharge and protect it against tinnitus and memory disorders. It's a fact, since many people have confirmed the results with such dramatic success, like Jeremy Seaton, 45, Pennsylvania.
I always said that I'd cut off at least 3 of my fingers if I could find a magic pill that would banish tinnitus, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Actually finding this sound therapy and this pill exists, it feels like a miracle. My head is quieter than ever, and I can't remember the last time my whole body felt this calm. My mind is clear. My brain fog is gone. It's like I've suddenly got this special brain power. And this is only the 2nd month since I began taking the pills. I'm just sharing this with everyone. It's the least I can do.
Or Sarah M., 58, Kentucky. I didn't believe for a second in what you were saying, Gerald. Just 15 minutes daily of the sound therapy and 2 pills a day to end years of chronic tinnitus and keep your brain safe from memory disorder? Please, go bark up another tree. It was my daughter, the one who insisted I take them. We argued a lot. It's true what they say. Children are smarter than their parents. I had a ringing in my left ear and a pulsing sensation in my right ear all the time before I started this incredible protocol. All gone now. I still can't believe it. It's like a curse has been lifted. I feel blessed and alive. Then there's Val T, 60, from Detroit, who wrote and told us that she was stuck with hearing aids to stifle the sounds. I could barely go through life each day, but after a couple of weeks of this therapy, I threw them away. My husband can't believe I understand everything he says and can even answer questions from another room. My headaches are gone, and even though I always forgot where I put my keys, I don't anymore. I always remember birthdays. Used to fear memory loss. Not anymore. I'm happy my husband began to take these pills too. He doesn't have tinnitus. He takes them for his brain. Everybody should. I'm never giving them up. People are getting their lives and peace of mind back as we speak, using a completely natural and side effect free revolutionary protocol. And all it takes to quiet your mind is 15 minutes of your time and 2 pills a day. That's it. So knowing all of this, it's obvious why the Neuro Calm protocol dominates any other option to successfully treat tinnitus. Nothing else out there proved to work. You could go to a doctor who will torture you with tons of useless tests or quickly prescribe your expensive medicines that causes dizziness, stomach problems, and fatigue. Medicine unproven to stop tinnitus because it's not a bacterial infection or virus, but a disease of the network that connects the brain. Or maybe he'll talk you into an expensive hearing aid to cover up the constant sound waves exploding in your head. Annoying and embarrassing to wear, and good luck getting your insurance to cover that cost. Next, your doctor might try to prescribing depression meds and sleeping pills to deafen the depression and anxiety caused by tinnitus. But those methods can't get to the root of the problem. They're just addictive chemicals that turn you into a zombie and prevent you from feeling and experiencing life to its fullest. There are alternative remedies like fake herbal extracts and acupuncture, even meditation to calm down the extreme stress tinnitus causes, which maybe doesn't hurt, but surely is not strong enough to be that treat all you're wishing for. And then there's sound therapy that is barely worth mentioning. All of these are a waste of time, energy, and money, and you know it. You and I know that they won't get you well in a million years. Unlike the Neuro Calm protocol that can get the job done in just a couple of weeks while keeping you safe from future brain disorders. I am sure you can understand why I initially wanted to set the value for one bottle of Neuro Calm Pro and the entire Neuro Calm protocol at only $99. And if you see this from my point of view, I'm sure you can understand why. I mean, once you go through the program, the sound therapy recordings, 30-day kickstart kit, personalized progress charts, tinnitus FAQ lists, you could rebalance your brain to handle sounds correctly. Shut down the ringing, roaring, whooshing, blood pumping, stop the headaches, and sleepless nights. And if you pair this up with the unique Neuro Calm Pro supplement, you could rapidly restore mental health as your mind quiets down and adjusts to the real world of sound going on around you, which, trust me, is beautiful, not painful or irritating like it seems now. In addition, all of the ingredients inside Neuro Calm Pro are natural. Some of them are quite rare and hard to obtain. Plus, the special formula is designed for the root cause of tinnitus, which is a life-threatening disease of your brain networks, one that could eventually lead you to severe memory loss and even dementia. Also, add on the cost of seeing a specialist in your area, including the diagnosis he'll make you pay for and the drugs he's going to prescribe to you. Well, given all of this, $99 should seem like a total steal. What a deal, right? But like I mentioned already, the Neuro Calm protocol is not about us making a profit. Sure, it would be nice to get paid for our work and effort, but if we wanted money, we could accept Big Pharma's proposal. Right now, close this page and get ourselves a big bank account 10 times fatter than the jackpot winners. Trust me, we don't want their filthy money. All that we want is to help you and people like you to get truly better. That's what my story and mission meant from the start. I wish this miraculous sound therapy and miraculous pill protocol existed before the doctors cut my ear off and had to fix my tinnitus, traumatizing me for life. But the past can't be changed and it can't be undone. And what matters now is that after receiving emails from people who can't afford the Neuro Calm protocol, we knew we had to find a way so everyone could afford it, which is why there's no chance I could consider charging you $99 for this. And because you're watching this presentation, you will benefit from a discount for Neuro Calm Pro from our awareness campaign. If you act today through this website and make the life-changing decisions of investing in this extraordinary anti-tinnitus weapon, you can get the only effective treatment that allowed thousands of people to finally hit the mute button on tinnitus for only $69. $69. But you know what? I'm going to make the deal even sweeter. Because I know how hard it is to live paralyzed by that hellish sound day after day and night after night, I want people to have what I now have. And I want to get this program out to as many people as possible in order to accomplish that. So I'm not bothering with profits. So this is why I've set up a discounted special package just for you. A package system of only 6 bottles of Neuro Calm Pro and the sound therapy protocol for you for only $49 for a total of $294, which is being offered today and today only for as long as our supplies last. You also get free shipping on us. But because this unique protocol works best only together with Neuro Calm Pro, once we run out of the bottles, the buy now button will not be active anymore until we make another batch again, which I can honestly tell you takes 2 to 3 months at least. So go ahead and click the 6-bottle package or any other package that you want below to secure your order. Consider this the smallest but most powerful investment that you have ever made for yourself. Yes, the sound therapy program and 1 bottle of Neuro Calm Pro might shut down the ringing, roaring, whooshing, and blood pumping sounds. 3 bottles might be enough to rapidly restore your mental health, help with brain cells rejuvenation by 15 years or more, while getting rid of migraines, insomnia, and brain shrinkage. But the 6 bottles of Neuro Calm Pro and the unique sound therapy program could make your brain immune not only to tinnitus, but to memory loss, amnesia, dementia. Imagine being independent and free from old age problems. You could turn 102 years old and your mind would still be sharp as a tack. You may be saying, okay, this sounds amazing and I'm interested. How do I get started? Click the yellow button below after choosing the best package for you, and you'll end up on our secure checkout page. Enter your payment details, place the order, and in 7 days from this moment, you'll get the Neuro Calm Pro delivered right to your front steps. Also, you'll gain immediate access to the entire Neuro Calm Sound Therapy Protocol, the 30-day Kickstart program, the listening sessions charts, and the sound therapy sessions, which can be accessed right away from your computer, iPad, or smartphone. So you can print, download, and listen to anything you want whenever you like. But click now. It's the only way to secure your package while supplies last. Therefore, you have absolutely nothing to risk because you are also covered by our 60-day, 100% healthy or money-back guarantee. That's a promise. You can access the program immediately and kickstart your journey towards a normal life after just 1 listening session. You can trust in what the sound technologists and scientific researchers have discovered, that your brain can be swiftly retrained to operate its inner sound system. Normally, again, that this sound therapy program is the only internal dial that turns tinnitus all the way down. And if you pair this up with the groundbreaking Neuro Calm Pro, you can see for yourself how your ringing becomes less and less intense until it eventually vanishes, how your anxiety and panic attacks fade away, and how you are finally surrounded by silence once again. Just like our more than 47,000 satisfied customers found out. If you're unsatisfied for any reason whatsoever, it is rare, but just in case, send us an email in the members area and you'll get a prompt refund. No questions asked, I promise. We'll still be friends. Therefore, you have nothing to risk at all. Like I said, this is 100% risk-free investment. So click one of the buttons below to get started. Your journey of becoming tinnitus free. The buy button inside the package. Basic, premium, standard. But please, know you really do have to act now. We are offering the Neuro Calm protocol for just $69 and even cheaper if you are getting our most popular packages. Just to get this amazing program into more hands, but we are planning on raising the price back to $99 or possibly much higher in the future. Because here's the weird thing. When I tell people that you can easily fight tinnitus and fight brain disorders in practically no time at all and for less than a visit to a specialist, Well, most people think it's unbelievable, as if there's something fishy going on. I know, it just sounds too cheap, especially if you have been struggling to cure it with your doctor's prescriptions, or with who knows what other methods. Our mission is to spread the Neuro Calm protocol to as many people as humanly possible. And the big dream is for tinnitus and brain disorders to be a thing of the past. But if people find it hard to believe that you can get such incredible results for less than the cost of a visit to a specialist or a meal with your family at a restaurant, then we'll have to raise the price. Not to mention, we don't know how much longer we'll be able to hide from big pharma's threats. But if this website is still up, it means you can still get Neuro Calm protocol if you act now. Click to make your choice below, enter your payment details, and place the order now. Neuro Calm Pro will arrive at your doorstep in a matter of days. Also, you'll gain immediate access to the entire Neuro Calm protocol, the 30-day Kickstart program, the listening sessions charts, and the sound therapy sessions, which can be accessed right away from your computer, your iPad, or your smartphone. You can even print or download and listen to anything you want whenever you like. Listen, when you think about it, you really only have two choices ahead of you right now. Option 1, stop following this presentation and leave this page. Do nothing, keep going the way you are now with that crucifying sound following you everywhere and risking serious brain conditions. Keep being frustrated that nothing works, spend hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on useless therapies. Live with your tinnitus for the following months, maybe even years or decades. It's not going to be pleasant. It's your decision. Option 2, risk nothing at all today. Grab Neuro Calm protocol right now and you'll be surprised at how well it works. So, just click below to make your choice, enter your payment details, and place the order now. You'll get instant access to the entire sound therapy programs and we'll immediately ship your bottles directly to your home. I hope to hear your success story real soon. Still here? That's fine. This presentation covered so much information that you might have some questions. So I'll just take a few moments to answer a few questions that are usually asked by clients before choosing the Neuro Calm protocol. Question 1, how does the Neuro Calm protocol work? Can you explain it again? Absolutely. The Neuro Calm protocol is a revolutionary 2-step program to terminate tinnitus once and for all. First, the sound therapy technique inside this program will unplug your brain from its internal loudspeakers just by listening, simply with no effort on your part. Secondly, the Neuro Calm Pro supplement, which is absolutely crucial to repair your brain network damaged by tinnitus and calm your nervous system. 3, what am I getting inside the Neuro Calm sound therapy protocol, you might ask? The techniques inside this program are represented in a simple and easy format for anyone who might want to use them. You'll fill out an initial evaluation questionnaire for tinnitus to gauge the severity for an individual recommendation on which sound recordings work best. In the 30-day Kickstart program, you'll receive listening sessions charts and times, including weekly report forms for tracking your progress. You'll get a categorized list of all the sound therapy sessions based on what part of the brain they work on, with technical breakdowns for how the sounds have been altered or enhanced for maximum potency. Lastly, you'll receive a general FAQ list for tinnitus and how it disrupts the air canals, as well as known causes for this dreaded disease and suspected culprits, plus a general how-to section to help you protect your hearing. Combined all together, the techniques inside this program unplug your brain from its internal loudspeakers just by listening simply and with no effort on your part. 4. How does the Neuro Calm Pro supplement work? Scientists discovered that tinnitus goes way beyond that. Just the annoying, non-stop ear ringing. In fact, tinnitus is just a signal of brain networks getting destroyed. Unfortunately, memory loss, dementia, and so many other memory disorders start with the failure of brain networks. To put it simply, your brain is a ticking time bomb, and tinnitus is the emergency alert. Now, the supplement works in the following ways. Step 1. Your hearing begins to clear as the brain networks are getting repaired and the nervous systems calm down. The buzzing brain networks are quickly fixed and the intensity of tinnitus sounds begin to lower in the first few days. Step 2. You regain your quiet mind while your brain networks are strengthening and becoming indestructible. Tinnitus is attacked out by the incredible strong brain connections. Step 3. You feel your memory stronger than ever while your damaged brain cells are quickly being repaired. Wiping out years of brain deterioration resulted from broken networks. Step 4. You feel your brain supercharged while cell regeneration begins. The tinnitus brain that made you a vegetable is now being rejuvenated. You think faster, better, clearer. It's like your brain is on steroids. And the final step 5, not worrying anymore about tinnitus and brain disorders because your brain is being trained for perfect health. Your brain is being cleansed of toxins, plaque. Your neural connections are multiplying while a shield against tinnitus and memory loss is being created. Question 2. Can I take Neuro Calm Pro even if I have allergies or if I currently use other supplements? We created this amazing anti-tinnitus weapon so that it has no damaging effects on people who have various allergies, as the quantities of the ingredients inside are selected to be below the allergy triggering levels. But we recommend if you have any known allergies to one of the mentioned pill ingredients, you do not take this supplement. For more details, please check the disclaimer link at the bottom of the page. Question 3. Why haven't I heard of this protocol before, you may ask? Well, as I explained during the presentation earlier, tinnitus and memory loss drug industry is a $25 billion a year industry business. But what the general public is unaware of is that the drug industry literally spends millions and millions of dollars each and every year to ensure that academic medicine focuses only on drugs that make industry money and not on the drugs that will actually help people get better. Question 4. Is this program for everyone, you may ask? Absolutely yes. It could work successfully and safely for people of any age. The sound therapy techniques are non-invasive, relaxing, and retrain your brain to quickly and effortlessly silence tinnitus, giving your ears and mind the relief to achieve anything you want while feeling amazing in the process. At the same time, Neuro Calm Pro is safe for people of any age, non-invasive, and risk-free. It works by helping your damaged brain networks to quickly and effortlessly fight tinnitus, giving your mind the relief to achieve anything you want while feeling amazing in the process. This program has also proved to be successful for people with early onset of memory loss. This is not unusual since Neuro Calm Pro was designed to also rejuvenate brain cells. As I told you before, tinnitus is just an emergency alert that announces something is wrong deep inside your brain. Dealing with the root cause of tinnitus means dealing with any existing brain damage. Question 5. What happens once I click one of the options below? Once you click one of the options below, you'll go to our 100% secure checkout page. You just enter your payment information and place the order. you'll get instant access to every part of the Neuro Calm Protocol sound therapy, which you can download, listen to, and even print as many times as you need to. As for Neuro Calm Pro, we'll immediately ship you supplements straight to your home, which should arrive in just a couple of days. It's that easy. Question 6. How long does it really take to see results? As I've told you, and I'm very proud to repeat this, you'll see the results amazingly fast as soon as you begin the sound therapy program. The battle against tinnitus is half won. In no time, your tinnitus will become less and less intense until it will eventually surrender to silence. This, coupled with the Neuro Calm Pro supplement, will ensure that your brain network's damages will be repaired and your nervous system will calm down. Question 7. What are the terms of that guarantee that you've mentioned? Simply put, because I want you to feel completely confident in your investment today, I am providing you with a 60-day money-back guaranteed. Simply click one of the buttons below and try the program out yourself for the next 60 days. If you don't get the results I promised in the shortest amount of time possible, or you're unsatisfied for whatever reason, simply send us an email to the members area and I'll give you your money back. Guaranteed. No questions asked. It should be clear that if I thought this wasn't going to work, there's no way I would make such an offer. But I do know this will work. A total of more than 47,000 people have already proven it. Question 8. How long would this program be available to the public? Well, I'm not really sure, but history has shown us that Big Pharma is not afraid to spend millions and millions of dollars in legal fees to remove something that threatens its very existence. If you really think about it, that makes sense. Wouldn't you spend $1 million in lawyer costs to protect the $25 billion per year that you make? In other words, if you are truly serious about fighting your tinnitus and protecting your brain against memory disorders in the following days, you need to take actions immediately. Question 9. How do I get the Neuro Calm protocol? This one is easy. Simply choose your package by clicking on one of the options below and try out the entire program for yourself for the next 60 days without absolutely no risk to you. If you are unhappy for whatever reason, you'll be given a prompt refund. No questions asked. That being said, I am supremely confident you won't be asking for a refund because this program has been proven to be effective for anyone suffering from tinnitus, even if they've had it for 10 or 20 years. So click below, fill in your payment details, and submit your order. I can't wait to hear your success story.
Thanks for stopping by. I hope now you can see how our product will truly make your life easier.